Definitely said that the information that you sharing with us from the Secretary of Finance, you have on in electronic version. Do you have in electronic version the information provided by the Secretary of Finance? Some of the
Or to the committee. Okay. So maybe they can scan it. Committee members?
What? He was just hoping to get those 9 members. Okay. I know I'm a political network, so.
Okay, send us please, Chair.
the session to order. May we stand for a minute of silent prayer. Roll call.
Delegate Alford, Delegate Asher, Delegate Parson,
Present.
Delegate Cantero, Delegate Chua,
Present.
Delegate Fritz,
I'm here, thank you.
Delegate Ashikuchi, Vice President Samantha Malati,
Aye.
Delegate Canto,
Aye.
Delegate Louis, Delegate Martin,
Amen.
Delegate Mori, present, Delegate Mandalan,
Present.
Delegate Mange,
Yay.
Delegate Mokar,
Amen.
Delegate Passes,
Present.
Delegate Simon, Delegate Samuel,
Here.
Delegate Sigwa, here, Delegate Sintan, Delegate Susaya,
Aye.
Delegate Takasi,
Present.
Lord Leader Letterman, President Killian,
Yes.
Mr. President, we have 23 delegates that are present.
Thank you, Secretary. So we have a quorum to transact business. And for the record, our floor leader is excused. And in that regard, I wish to again request that Delegate Cantero be our acting floor leader for today's session. So I see Delegate Cantero nodding, so he agrees. So we're going to now move on. Item 4, adoption of journal.
Mr. President, if I may.
Yes, floor leader, acting floor leader.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good morning to all of you delegates, district delegates. My humble respect to Soko. My respect to you, Mr. President. Again, for the record, it continues to be a great honor to serve as an acting temporary floor leader under your leadership and as well as the guidance of the collective members of the body. With respect to agenda number 4, adoption of journal, Mr. President, I'd like to move for adoption of the convention journal number 11. Thank you, Mr. President.
Second. Thank you. It's been moved and seconded that we adopt the journal as presented. Discussion? If none, all those in favor of the motion to adopt the journal say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Communications?
For item 5, communications, we are in receipt of one delegation communication number 4-3 and one departmental communication number 4-1.
We have had communication. Any discussion on that? It's straightforward, just for information purposes. If not, moving on, department communications.
As was already mentioned, we have one departmental communication number 4-1.
Thank you that those information that Secretary Amon's letter are very useful for us pertaining to financial information on revenues that comes to our government, national government, and also the shares.
For your information.
Yes, Delegate Fritz.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. These communications from members and departments or other government, will they be part of the journal?
LC, can Can you respond to that?
You move for a short recess first.
Move for a short recess.
So what the first and third constitutional conventions did with their journals, I cannot speak on the second because right now in the archives I don't have all of the documentation from the second constitutional convention, but the first and third conventions had two separate volumes. One volume was the daily journal that you've been adopting here, which would become, which we would have, and then the second one, which has been most often it's called Volume 1, includes the communications, the proposals, the standing committee report. So what I would recommend, and we've been maintaining all of those records, the staff has, so that at the end of the convention can determine what it wants to include in the official journal, and anything that's not included in the official journal will be appropriately if you wish, but it's up.
Can it be clarified further? discussion were on communications, Department of Communications and so forth. Any motion for disposing the matter which we have discussed a while ago regarding communications, whether to be part of the journal or not? I guess we have to, if no, yes,
Mr. President,
Delegate Naich.
I move that the convention approves all communications to be part of the official record of the convention.
Any second? It's been moved and seconded that the motion is put forth by Delegate Naich be adopted. Discussion? Yes. Chairman Sidan?
I want Delegate Knight to clarify what he said, part of, are they going to be together with the journal or they be separate?
Delegate Naich, you're requested to clarify your motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I ask Delegate Sidan to repeat his question?
Chairman Sidan, just restate your query.
Yeah, I just asked to clarify when you said communication will be part of the convention. You want to separate it from the journal or be part of the journal? Can you clarify it?
Go ahead, Delegate Naich.
Thank you, Mr. President. What I meant was that all communications that are placed on the order of business, being the official communications, be part of the journal of the convention.
Okay, thank you, Delegate Naich, for that clarification. Any other discussion before we vote? Delegate Susaya?
Thank you, President. This is a trivial matter. All communications to you as President of the Convention should become part of the order of the day. Communications such as what we're discussing now is directed to the committee chair. Shouldn't be placed on the order of the day. So I hope from now on, we put communications to you as President of the Convention on the order of the day only. All other communications should not be on the order.
All right, well, in order for it to be more transparent, everything should be on, so we still have the motion on the floor. Delegate Fritz?
I'm afraid we're going to continue debating on this, but, you know, if a matter comes in and is part of the activity for the day, all of those should become official records of that day's, and they should be part of the journal. So, the information that the Secretary of Finance provided to the committee, now the committee is sharing with us, and sharing those information to us should be part of the official journal for the day. Otherwise, sharing of that information is absent from the journal. When people in the future look at it, they say, where is this information that this communication alluded to? So if we put it in, I think that's even better for everybody else. There's no injury to the general public or, for that matter, to us as delegates.
Thank you, Delegate Fritz, that further support the motion. So we still have the motion. Let's see if no other discussion. We have the motion to vote on. Yes, Chairman Sidan.
So that means all this communication to be part of the journal would be as attached.
Yes, that should be it. Well, we have the motion at hand, so let's dispose of it. If no discussion, further discussion, let's vote. All those in favor of the motion by Delegate Naich and seconded by Delegate Fritz, say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Motion carried. Shall be done. Okay, moving on. Any other matters on unfinished business?
None, Mr. President.
Item 7, reports of committees.
For item 7, reports of committees, we have one committee report, and it's number CCSCR 4-01 on Concon Proposal 4-02 from your Committee on Public Finance and Revenue for adoption. This was deferred from yesterday to today's session.
Chairman Sidan.
Mr. President, I move to adopt the standing committee report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the said committee report be adopted. I move for a short recess. So, just to be Chairman, yes. Delegate Susea,
Previous question.
move for the previous question. Any second? It's been moved that we stop debate and move on. All those in favor of the motion by
Point
Delegate
of
Susea? Yes.
information. The motion that was deferred, I think there were some proposed amendments that were offered. Are we talking about the same thing? Because with this, the
I
amendment-
think those, when we get to the, we'll get to
Please,
the
short
amendments
recess,
when
short
first reading.
Declare a short recess, please.
We'll get to the amendments tomorrow when the
first
proposal
reading.
is up.
while ago, before we took the recess, there was a motion by Delegate Susaya to stop debate. That was seconded. So let's vote on that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
So motion defeated. So we still have the main issue at the end. We have discussion on the committee report as submitted by the Committee on Public Finance and Revenue. Chairman Sidan, it was already, this is a report and we need to discuss further as echoed by some
Yes,
delegates. Yes, Chairman Sidan.
thank you, Mr. President. Let me just summarize the report and the proposal. This proposal is to amend the section on foreign assistance fund where it comes in, and there is not earmarked to be equally divided among the 5 governments. This amendment is to make it to be negotiated at later date and instead of automatically divided 5 ways. So in short, that's what it is. And we have our hearing with the finance people, and we also found out that this provision is not really in practice, but recently most of the foreign assistance has been earmarked. That's what we found out. For that reason, the committee adopted the proposal to take away the requirement to divide 5 ways. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Sidan, for the elaboration of the matter on the report. Yes, Delegate Susaya.
Thank you, President. If the proposal is approved, the division of grants that are not earmarked will be based on an agreement between the national and the state governments, as opposed to the current wording of the Constitution that if the grant is not earmarked, it will be divided equally between the national government and the 4 states. That is the essence of the amendment. An agreement will be reached between the national government and the 4 states.
Point of information.
Thank you. Yes, Delegate Fritz.
Did my good friend here already offer his proposed amendment? I know that they were typed up, printed, and distributed according to the rules, but I did not remember him offering those amendments yet. And yet we are talking about them.
If I may, Mr.
We'll
President,
talk about the main report.
if I may.
Yes, Chairman Nabayan.
Okay, so I do have, I've introduced an amendment, a written amendment, proposing amendments to this proposal pursuant to Rule 53. The reason being, currently as the proposal stands, should the parties, the governments fail to reach an agreement, which is a possibility, then there is no fallback position in terms of how to allocate the funds. There is no time frame also in the proposal within which the governments have to reach an agreement. So my proposal is to provide a fallback position should the governments fail to reach an agreement, and also a timeline within which they have to reach the agreement. I asked yesterday for guidance on when to verbalize that motion during the session. I was informed that I can do that at first reading, which I understand will be tomorrow. So that's why I'm holding back on this. If I have to make the motion today, please advise. I will do so. Thank you.
Short recess, President.
Thank you, Chairman. Short recess called for.
Um, I'll make a motion, if that is the required action. I'll make a motion for the adoption of committee report number CC-SCR-4-01, renumber CC-PR-04-02. I make a motion for adoption.
Short recess. Okay, before we went to recess, there was a motion to adopt the report, after which, if it passes, we're going to consider the on first reading. That's We still have the motion at then to adopt the committee report on SCR 4-01 by the Public Finance and Revenue Committee. Yes, Delegate Takeshi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, fellow delegates, I rise on a point of privilege to introduce some distinguished ladies who are taking interest in what is happening in this convention. I am pleased to introduce Sherry Parker Simon, Binray Marcus Retin, Eugene Samuel, and Susan Lowe Gallen. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Delegate Takeshi, and welcome those young ladies to our session this morning. Okay, we have the matter before us to vote on the adoption of the report as presented by the Committee on Public Finance and Revenue. If no other discussion, yes. Delegate Takeshi.
Yes, Mr. President, with all due respect to the committee, I would like to ask what are the redeeming reasons why we need to adopt this. In reading the report, I fail to see the reasons why there needs to be a change of where things are today. What would be the economic results of this decision? What would be the political? What would be the social results if we were to adopt this report, which would lead to adoption of the proposal to amend the Constitution? Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Delegate Takeshi. Perhaps Chairman Sidan can answer your points.
I will defer to the introducer of the proposals, so it will be very clear from him. Thank you.
It's okay, the proponent, Delegate Noguet, should more or less add the explanation in addition to what's been presented in the committee report.
Proposal on the reasons. First, when I look at the present provision of the Constitution, it says that it will, the money, any money that is coming into the foreign assistance funds will be divided equally among the 4 states, including the national government. So first, if $500,000 was given to the FSM from a foreign assistance, not earmarked for any particular project, then it will be divided among 5. So if we divide that $500,000 among the 5, it will be about $100,000 for each state, including the national government. That $100,000 will not pay for any capital project or any big project, road, water, power, as examples. So the intent of this proposal is to have these states come together and share their needs. Maybe IAP needs sewer system. The other states recognize that IAP state needs that, and they need about $500,000. That $100,000 is not going to be enough. So in this kind of, when this kind of situation occurred, I propose, the proposal intends to have these states leadership get together and discuss what state needs more for development, instead of dividing up the $500,000 to each of the states. And that's the main purpose, main intent of this proposal, Mr. President.
Thank you, Delegate Noguet. Chairman Nabayan, any more clarification, explanation?
Yeah, well, I'm in support of the proposal, and I wanna respond to the question that Delegate Takisi raised, slightly from a different angle than the introducer has. I understand that the point that Delegate Cantero raised earlier, that during recess, that oftentimes most of these the grants that come to FEMS are already earmarked prior to the submission of the grant document, and allocation. The earmarks are already contained in the grant document. That will forego the need for this provision to be invoked. But there are block grants, like, for example, IDA grants, ADB grants, EDF grants, that come with the grantor basically looking to the country to decide how best to employ those grants in terms of their needs. And in those instances, I've seen, because I've been involved in some of the sectors, in IDA grant, for example, in the energy sector, and I've seen that internally at the national level, decisions are made in terms of allocations before and then passed on to the national to the state governments. So by the time the state governments are engaged, the decision has already been locked in by the national government, and that decision in terms of allocation has already been crafted into the grant document. So that's why I think something like this is beneficial to the country, and it will also give the states a chance at the table to discuss how best to allocate grants. Will also be a venue through which these grants can be aligned with state priorities. At least there will be a consultation between the national government and the states on how best to employ these grants to fit the needs and plans of each of the states. So that's why I'm in support of the proposal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, for clarification, you're in support of the proposed amendment. Thank you, Chairman.
Mr. President, if I may just...
Yes, Acting Floor Leader Cantero.
Thank you. My only concern on this proposal is only one thing. If the leadership is not able to get their act together, not a single penny will enter this country. Thank you.
Yes, I think there's an issue there. Chairman Abayan?
Yes, I agree with that, and that is why I have an amendment to propose to the proposal to remedy that problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson Sikra.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I share Delegate Takesi's concern also on the contents of the letter, the committee report. My immediate concern is that if they can provide more definition to this term agreement. I understand that this agreement is to be negotiated in the future. However, if it becomes part of the constitutional language, then the interpretation there would get some of us really locked out. And if that the purpose, which is good to help some of the natural disasters in the state, so maybe it can be spelled out as part of the agreement. One of the natural disasters happening to us every day here is power outages, electricity. Can that be part of it? And if it is detailed as possible, then we may not have this kind of reservations. And I lodge again, as a delegate from Koshai, knowing that when there is an agreement, we may be a beautiful state, but we are a smaller state. So that agreement has not served our state well. Let's look at the gentleman's agreement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairperson Sikra. Yes, Chairman Sidan, first.
Yes, thank you very much. I think our committee, we don't know what the agreement will look like. It will be up to the leaders to discuss it. Let me use an example in the earlier years for the Japanese foreign aid. What the leaders have agreed to rotate it so they have a meaningful result instead of dividing up to so many little grants. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Delegate Knight.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have listened to the arguments presented from both sides. There are merits and demerits, as Acting Floor Leader Cantero said. part of the problem is that we're dealing with two issues here. One is substance, the other is procedure. So we are projecting into a future. For financial planning, can that be done? Will there be stability in a situation where we leave it to negotiation instead of setting a criteria, let's say 50%, 50%, rather than whenever there is no the agreement for the use of outside help, then it's left to negotiations. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Knight. Delegate Susaya.
Thank you, President. The proposed amendment, as I stated earlier, is to address crimes that are not earmarked. In the event that the crime is received or a donor country extends a crime to the FSM and is not earmarked, then the amendment operates. Meaning, instead of what is this now, that the national government and the 4 states will share equally the amount of the crime, it will be divided pursuant to an agreement by the 4 states and the national government. That's all there is to it. Any crimes that are earmarked, it's the purpose of the crime is used for what it is earmarked for. And so, in essence, this proposed amendment, although I'm not supposed to be supporting it because I work for the national government, is in a way gives the states a fair chance to argue for more if they cooperate together and convince the national government in a discussion to agree on how the money should be used. So it really favors the states because it's 4 against 1. Unless another state sides with the national government or 2, then this agreement is, this proposed amendment is really to give the chance to the states to get a fair share of whatever crime that is not earmarked. That's all there is to it, President.
Thank you. So in support of the proposed amendment. Thank you. Yes, Delegate Takeshi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I've been privileged to work in the foreign service of this country for quite a while. Just for the information of this convention, the policy on the foreign assistance, okay, is set in the Constitution, of course. But with respect to practicality, the leaders of this country, starting with the first president, decided that one way to actually maximize the impact of external assistance is to rotate that assistance whole so that it does a maximum good to one state. This was done with the assistance from the government of Japan. This is one of the reasons why we got the Caroline Voyagers, among others. So it is that principle that will be impacted if this matter goes into reality. So this is one principle that I would like for us to be aware of. On the issue of division, the states are not equal, as enunciated by my colleague. Being the smallest states in the union, of course, puts her in an uncomfortable situation. The issue, Mr. President, is how do we maximize the use of external assistance? I would suggest to this convention that is the issue at hand. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Delegate. Short recess. Short recess. Yes, short recess. Chairman.
Likely that we will receive this kind of foreign financial assistance fund. Not only the foreign affairs, but also from Department of Finance. The current law requires that when we receive foreign financial assistance fund, when there's no particular distribution, the formula is to distribute equally. To me, that is a clear formula in existence. The current proposal proposed to amend that formula, requiring that when there is a foreign assistance fund that is provided to FSM and there is no particular distribution, we leave it to the states and the national government to come up with an agreement. To me, that's an open-handed solution that is a lot of uncertainty. To me, if there are amendments to this to make it, which I understand that Delegate Nabian will be provide amendment to this proposal later on, then that may at least looks appealing to me. But as of now, I try to reason, base my decision on reason, and with the Standing Committee report, everything seemed to say that this may be not the way to go for the interests of the states. I just wish to convey that, Mr. President. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Chairman Nasser. We're still on the main issue at hand to discuss the report.
Mr. President.
Yes, Chairman Albert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I can share the same sentiments of colleague from Koshai. There's a phrase that says, if it's not broken, don't fix it. This is how I look at this proposal. The testimonies by the two witnesses who were present before the committee, both of them expressed clearly that there's never been an incident where money come in unallocated, or they all come in earmarked for projects. So what we're trying to propose here is something in anticipation of something that is unreal. So I'm really concerned why we are in a rush to put this kind of proposal forward when we know that in the past referendums where they crowd more than 10 proposals, there seems to be no success. I thought there were some advice coming from certain entities, including the President, that we be practical, that we choose the proposals that the people really want. So, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I stand on that phrase. If it's not broken, let's not fix it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman Albert. Still need, yes, Chairman Nabayan.
Well, thank you.
We're still on the committee report.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not sure the assertion that there has never been a grant that has come to the nation, FSM, unearmarked is accurate. Because I'll give you an example. Under IDA 17, $60 million, 25% of that, 25 million of that initially was earmarked for the energy sector, period. But how the energy sector is but earmark within the energy sector was not done. That was left up to the FSM and the national and the state to define how it's to be earmarked pursuant to their needs. And that's where this proposal speaks to. Because the way that was handled, there was no input from the states until after a decision has been made at the national government on how to earmark it. So I think it's better at this stage for a provision like this to mandate that there's consultations between all the stakeholders, the states and the national government, in terms of how best to earmark that sub-grant within the general grant for that sector. And so, based on, but if they fail to meet it, then my proposal would give them a fallback position to go to. And additionally, the gentleman agreement that was done with respect to the Japanese overseas grant of rotation on an annual basis from state to state. First of all, I'm not sure that's still being followed, because I know that YAP has missed its rotation maybe a couple of times. But in any event, what I think this provision would give the constitutional basis for such an agreement, because right now there is none. I think an argument can be made that agreement by the principals has no root in the Constitution, because the Constitution says it has to be divided equally. So something like this would also give the constitutional basis for something of that nature to be made in the future. So, but I do not think the assertion that there has never been a grant to the FSM that has not been earmarked within the context of what we're discussing is accurate. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Abrian. Chairman Sidan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think we have discussed enough. I appreciate all the comments from delegates. I think this, since this is the first one, and it's healthy that everyone make their comment, I think probably it should be discussed during the first reading debate. But for the report, I think we should just move on and adopt it.
Mr. President.
And then when we meet, on first reading, that's when we make amendment. If you don't agree with the amendment, so we move on.
Thank you.
I move to close debate. Thank you.
It's been moved and seconded that we close debate. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. So, debate has been closed, so let's vote on the motion and to adopt the report. All those in favor of the report by the Committee on Public Revenue and Public Finance and Revenue, say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carried, so we have adopted that particular report. So, moving on, first reading of committee proposals.
President, short recess.
Short recess declared.
I think it's
President and colleagues, I'm not going to do a long intervention, Mr. President, but just an understanding that It was unanimously agreed, for the record, by the entire membership of the convention, unanimous agreement that going forward with respect to adoption of committee report, once it's adopted, it is an understanding that it will also be considered first reading on the exact same day. That is the clear understanding of the convention. That is, Mr. President, what they want to do. So that is understanding that is what we will do from now on until the convention process completes. Thank you.
Thank you. So since we just adopted the committee report number 4-01, so your comments are pertinent to that issue. So let's move on. Yes, Chairman Sidan.
Are we on 8?
We are now on item 8, first reading of committee proposals.
Mr. President, I move that we place that proposal on the first reading.
Second.
Yes, we move and seconded that we place the proposal number 04-02. Yeah. So we have that motion that to act on that on first reading. So Secretary, read the title.
Thank you, Mr. President. With the adoption of Committee Report Number CCSCR 4-01 on Concon Proposal 4-02, and with the understanding that was agreed upon earlier, under item 8, first reading of committee proposals, we now have CCPR 4-02 for first reading. CCPR 4-02 is a proposed amendment to the Constitution to amend Article 12, Section 1P to provide that distribution of shares of foreign assistance from the Foreign Assistance Fund will be made by agreement between the states and national government instead of shared in equal portions by all 4 states and national government.
Thank you.
President,
Yes.
what's the motion to place this proposal acted on?
Short recess declared.
Hãy subscribe cho kênh Ghiền Mì Gõ để không bỏ lỡ hujan yang gila, kapalin sailor kala-kala sa pongpong, koren mataw tila, welen nan mawret, anane kalaburala. Ang Pilipine, ulap, rupopila, isang sarawiya. Ang Pilipine, ulap, rupopila, isang
Yeah.
Yes, Chairman
Mr.
Sidan.
President, to make Delegate Susan happy, I hereby withdraw my motion.
Thank you, Chairman Sidan. So we have on hand the proposal on first reading, since we adopted the report. Unless any other, probably that's for the record, that's confirmed the consensus. Yes. Yes,
A motion to defer the consideration of the proposal on first reading today to tomorrow.
Second.
okay, it's been moved and seconded that we defer action on this particular proposal, 04-02. All those in favor of the motion, say aye. All those opposed, say nay. So motion carried. The matter has been deferred to tomorrow's calendar. Moving on, item 8. Any other committee, first reading on committee proposals?
None, Mr. President.
Second reading of committee proposals?
None also, Mr. President.
Final reading of committee of proposed constitutional amendments?
None, Mr. President.
Consideration of resolutions?
At the moment, we do not have any resolutions, Mr. President.
Introduction and referral of delegate proposals and resolutions?
Please refer to referral sheet number 4-09.
That is attached to the order? Okay. Special orders?
None at the moment, Mr. President.
Miscellaneous business?
Mr. President, if I may.
Yes, Acting Floor Leader Cantero.
Thank you. Again, our meeting today, our process today, we encountered some challenges. We have encountered some challenges, some different interpretations of what we could not do. But I think as a result of our meeting today, tomorrow going forward, I think when we get to this kind of situation, we already agreed to exactly what steps to take so we can move forward. So I'd like to also thank Chairman Sidan for his patience and his guidance and advice in our process. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just last, but I just like to also maybe comment that I sense, just myself, a sense that there is a little bit of disappointment on the role of our temporary chair. I mean, our floor leader. Just my own sense that we would expect him to also be part of the process. He has been given the role. Albeit he is excused, I have a feeling that we would like for him to be part of our family as we get together every day, sacrifice our respective individual times to get here so we can get our convention process forward. I just like to register that as I think it's my duty to do that as your temporary floor leader, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Floor Leader, Acting Floor Leader. I think you can further consult your colleague as a cabinet member on that matter, but we truly appreciate your efforts to carry on the load that he is supposed to be providing, but we understand his reason for being absent today and the previous days. Any miscellaneous business before we continue on that matter? I wish to urge urge the special committee to wait on the President, which was created at the beginning of this session, with the leadership of our Isonancan Vice President, to have your committee go and visit again President Panuelo and inform him that we'll be recessing, and you would extend our appreciation and thanks for all the support that has been provided since the beginning of our session on day one, and other matters that you wish to convey to him, and I think Isonancan already been informed, and some of you, and I know there's one from each delegation. So perhaps given the fact that we'll be recessing from tomorrow will be our last day before we go into recess, I respectfully and humbly request that your committee, special committee, take that up and plan for the visit to the President. So that's a special miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous.
Yes, Delegate Susaya.
Thank you for the extended assignment and breathing life into that special committee. I have a question on the rules. Is there a particular provision in the rules that specify how many excused absences a delegate is provided or given, in line with what Delegate Candelo is concerned?
Short recess declared.
Mr. President,
Yes, Delegate Fritz.
I have just two small miscellaneous business.
Go ahead, proceed.
I merely wish on behalf of Delegate Asiguchi and I to thank Delegate Asterio for recognizing one of our constituents who was sitting in the gallery. So thank you very much, Delegate Asterio. Another matter is that I think one day ago or so I requested you to also view this side, because we keep asking for you to recognize us, but you just keep looking at those two gentlemen on that side. I say this because we already adopted the Pertinent Committee report, but if you notice on the committee report, I put with reservation, and I was hoping to explain why I had reservation on the committee report, but it's water under the bridge. So please look that way, and also look our way. Thank you very much.
Don't worry, I'll do that, but you can express your reservation on first reading. Since that's a pertinent matter. Thank you, Delegate Fritz. Yes,
Mr. President.
Yes, Delegate Posse.
Yes, I would like to extend, on behalf of our Chuk delegation, your leadership, and on behalf of this convention, to express and extend our sincere gratitude and great appreciation to the people of Pohnpei who have shown generous and kind gesture of hospitality through their traditional leaders and state leaders, as well as the national officials. And I ask the proper people to please expedite my resolution that will express those sentimentalities. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Delegate Parsi. Comments are well taken. LC and the staff will look into that to ensure that you have the resolution completed. Any other matters on miscellaneous business before we move on to announcements? If none, announcements by the various committee chairperson, chairman. Yes, Chairperson Sigra.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The Committee on General Provisions will be meeting at 1 o'clock today. And as to lunch, we ordered lunch, but I haven't seen it, so we hope to have lunch. And we will be discussing three proposals, 4-03, 4-16, and 4-32 relating to threshold required to amend the Constitution. And if we discuss this faster, we can also discuss other matters. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson Sikra. So I guess the lunch is also for those who be attending, members and non-members. Thank you.
The meetings, Mr. President, the meeting will be held at the Congress hearing room, committee meeting room.
Okay, the venue will be at the Congress Committee Room, the one that we have been using these past several days. Okay, 1 o'clock to 2:30, that's your slot this afternoon. Thank you, Madam Chair. Chairman Albert.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the CTL committee, I just received a report from our legal staff, so that'll be placed on tomorrow's discussion. Tomorrow we're dedicating time to the dual citizenship issue, so I invite all members to join at 8:30, same place. Sorry about the time slot, that's what's allocated to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. So this is declared.
Yo, Miguel, RBY alongside. Just wanna share. What a gift. Bless. Tell me. Boom.
Ilang mas kalaraniaya Obirong ilang kisiniyanga Open bir karos Hiyaw pensam Ilang mas kalaraniaya Obirong ilang kisiniyanga Obinilokin ng Sampai bigada lang o samba Pachigiyang adaba karos Nelelang pangwiyong ay Karyang ay pangkinachiyang Kangkinan tikanan naman Limpakong mechikan Ukara-kara Sanggarus kuburan gauno Imagabigada lang o samba Pachigiyang audaba karos Nelelang kamiyong ay Karyang ay pangkinachiyang Pangkinan kikanen naman Limpakong mechikan Ukara-kara Wegigichay naranas Nenonor ko isang kawet Anti ka para-paran Kinalaylay John mechayang mechikan Wegigichay naranas Newiyetatok sang kawet Ipanachiyang ay buka O akchikichi Wegigichay naranas
We're on announcements.
Mr. President,
Go ahead, Chairman Sidan.
your Committee on Public Finance and Revenue will meet today at 2:30 in this chamber instead of the committee room. We need to start sorting out all these proposals to see if we can merge some of them before we break. So during our consultation, we can confine to a few, not too many. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman Sidan. So your committee will meet here after lunch at 2:30, I guess after the Committee on General Provisions meet at 1 o'clock, okay? So be noted, any other announcements? Chairman Nabayan?
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Your Committee on Government Structure and Functions will have its meeting tomorrow at 2:30 here in this chamber. Tomorrow, 2:30 p.m.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. So the Committee on Government Structure shall meet here at 2:30 in this chamber to consider tomorrow, to consider whatever proposals you going to consider. So we noted. Any other announcements? If none, Acting Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for recess until tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Once again, it's been moved and seconded that we recess until tomorrow at 10 o'clock. If no objection, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carried. Recess till tomorrow.
Isang kawet Anti ka para-paran Gimalaylay Chon mechayang mechikan Wegigichay naranas Newiyetatak sang